overcoming suffering in men's health with the award-winning publisher, actor, model, director, and writer. Let's give it up for Mr. JP Long,
Well, a very good afternoon, and wow, what an honour to be here, listening to so many inspirational stories. Today is a first for me to speak in a massive audience. Even to come to the Philippines, I have severe mental health problems, and I don't usually leave my house, or I don't venture far. So I travel from London to the Philippines to be here with my lonely family and get to meet you guys and network. So I've done it, I've got past the first stage of it. So motivational speaking wasn't really a key topic for me because I'm an ex-military veteran, I'm an actor, singer, so I get to hide behind things. Growing up as a kid was very hard. I had brain damage when I was younger, lived on the streets. I was a victim of being raped by a man at 18. I was a victim of domestic abuse, domestic violence. Nothing got done about it because I was a man, and they expected me to just be macho about it, and I was macho about it. And as I was going on through life, more tragedies happened. I had children pass away. I thought to myself, something's not right here. I can either let it carry on dragging me down, or I can rise above it and turn my negatives into a positive. So when my son Oscar died in 2017, I wrote a poem and I read it at his funeral. I then decided, what could I do with this? And I wrote a song, and it took many years. Then on my birthday in 2022, I actually had the courage to record the song. And the song here is Gone Too Soon. And it is me singing on it with my wife and a couple of other singers. And all the money from this has gone to a charity called SANDS, what we have, Stillborn Neonatal Death. So I turned my negative to help other men and other victims who've lost children. And every day's hard, it's hard, I carry it with me constantly, I have memories. But then I thought to myself, I still have these mental health problems. I'm getting more problems, more things are happening. Is it really me? Do I belong here? And that went on for many years. Then I met my wife, my nice wife. We've been together 5 years now, and we've got 3 beautiful kids. And she told me a story about her son who's battled 2 brain tumours and has multiple comorbidities, brain damage, and he's 15 now, but he doesn't have a long life. And she's done this all on her own. So I thought, do you know what? This woman, on her own, doing what she was doing, looking after her son, raising a son and a baby whilst he's battling cancer. And I'm moping about my stuff that's gone on. So I thought to myself, let's make something positive with everything. And my wife turned around and said to me, she goes, Jay, if I can do it, you can do it. But together, we'll do it as a team. So within that team, I decided to set up a program called Let's Talk Men. I'll go shortly into it, and if anyone else wants to know more, they can. So Let's Talk Men. I then went on a campaign to encourage men around the world to speak up about being victims of rape, domestic abuse, domestic violence, homelessness, which happens constantly all around the world. And some of the figures that we got on there was basically in 2022, at the moment, there's 699,000 men over the age of 16 that are victims. And the stats just in the UK at the moment is 1 in 4 women suffer from domestic violence, domestic abuse. But that's obviously increased because of COVID. What do you reckon the stats of the men are? How many? I'll tell you now. 1 in 2 men in the UK alone suffer a form of violence and domestic abuse and rape. Okay? Nothing gets done. We have the politicians and that saying we're putting all the money in to protect women, make women safe on the streets. So I got myself banned from Twitter because I said, what about men? Men are just as important as women. If a man gets raped, it's still rape. If a man gets abused by domestic violence, it's still domestic abuse and violence. Just because he's not a woman, he still has pain and suffering. But because of our society's made a man to be masculine, they don't talk about it. So I'm on a journey to encourage every man around the world, and I've helped quite a few now, through doing radio interviews, podcasts and everything, to speak out about it and encourage them to speak. And I will continue to be the voice. And I'm looking for people to come on this journey to help me push Let's Talk Men. But I thought to myself, it doesn't stop there. It does not stop there at all. So I came, I think it was Saturday, had dinner with yourself and Dr. Sanjay, and we was talking about education and people not being in education. I had no qualifications growing up as a kid. I was always told, you're silly, you're stupid, you won't achieve anything. Even when I joined the army, I wanted to be an officer. They said, you'll never be an officer because you'll never get a degree, you're not clever. Well, guess what? You tell me I'm not doing something. I did something. And do you know what I did? I got a degree with no qualifications, right? I then got my teaching qualification to then teach. So I started teaching children. I didn't have the qualifications to get there. I had the practical experience. I had the knowledge and the wealth from my job. So with the help of Dr. Sanjay, I thought, what could we do? Because society has a lot of people that aren't getting education all over the world. Kids, primary school age, aren't getting education because of bullying, because of poverty, because of war, everything. And I thought, one of the other ones that they don't like is, you cannot go to school if you don't meet the criteria. If you don't have English, if you don't have maths. So I'll tell you what we decided. I decided to start a project literally 3 days ago, and I'm looking for people to come on board and help me with this, because I'm sure we've all got passion that the young generation are our future for making this world a successful, peaceful world. And that program is called Education Illuminated Project. And what that is, and what I do with it, is inspiring young minds to build on their dreams so they can enrich their futures one lesson at a time. Okay? And how I mean by that is, I did it as a research. So let's just, as a prime example, Dr. Robbie, educated, okay, so you're academic, you're very academic. And then let's just say, yourself, Val, you're more of a practical hands-on, okay? If I gave you both the same task, you would do it, but you'd do it in an academic way, and you would do it a practical way. Okay, granted, so that's good. But what happens if I turned it around? If I made you the academic, I made you the practical, and gave you that same job to do, would you be able to achieve it? You wouldn't, okay? So what I'm trying to get at, you don't need paper qualifications, guys, to have an education, to grow where you want to grow in life. Prime example, Richard Branson, he started off selling fruit and veg, and now he's a billionaire, you know? So regardless whether you're educated or whether you're practical, me, I'm not really educated, hence the reason I went in practically with experience and knowledge to get my degree. And here I am now in front of all you amazing people, so inspirational, my lonely family. Dr. Caroline Makaka, thank you for having me on board and being on this journey, and all of you amazing people. It's just something that I want to get out there. If you dream it, believe it. If you believe it, you will achieve it. But you know what else? I've not stopped there with that project. I set up another one, or it's been running, because I'm part of a Panache Global Entertainment. So we're currently working in Nigeria in a small village putting boreholes, and I thought, there's so many villages that don't have fresh water. Children walking miles and miles just to get some dirty water. And yet what we take for granted, these kids aren't having, or these families in these third world countries, they're not having. So why don't I not just use Africa and Nigeria to build these boreholes? Why don't we get people on board and we go around these small villages where they don't have the fresh water and start raising money, start building these boreholes so everybody can live a happy, healthy life and enjoy the things we take for granted. And that's my campaign. So if any of you will want to come on board with any of the free campaigns, then please come and speak to me at the end. Okay, I'm Jamie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the summit.
Thank you, Mr. Jamie Long, for that awesome talk that you gave us.